Hello and welcome to my desk. In this video I wanted to run through the differences between Hobonichi and Sterling Ink, specifically the Hobonichi Cousin and the Sterling Ink Common Planner. Now, just to say, this is absolutely not to try and determine whether one is better than the other. It is quite simply to try and help you to make a decision between the two, because I've been sort of swapping back and forth in which ones I like and what I'm using them for. And as I've set up my Sterling Ink for 2026, but also purchased a Hobonichi Cousin as a work planner for 2026, it's just become really clear to me what the main differences are between the two. And again, that's not to say that that makes one of them better. It's more that I think it just helps you to decide which is right for you. So I'll just do a quick run through of the differences and also mention what's pretty much the same between the two. The thing I'm going to start with is actually the front cover. This is the original version of the Cousin, so not the Hon version that comes with the hard cover. And I know that most people like to put either the plastic cover on these or one of the proper kind of cases that you get for it. That said, it is a very sturdy cardboard cover anyway, whereas the Sterling Ink cover is much more flexible. And before I go on, just to say, obviously this is a smaller size. The Sterling Ink that I prefer to use is the B6 Slim, but it does come in the A5 size as well. So the Sterling Ink does do one in the exact same size as this. And perhaps actually that's one of the differences to mention, that Hobonichi make 3 different sizes. The Cousin, which is A5, the original, which is A6, and then they make a Weeks, which is much slimmer. So let's get into the main layouts of the planner. The Cousin has the whole of current year on a full page. It then has the previous year and the next year in smaller print on a second page. The Sterling Ink just has the current year calendar on a single page. It doesn't have the year before or the year after dates. The Common Planner starts with 2 blank pages for you to use as a vision board or similar, and then it has a goal breakdown across 2 pages as well. The Cousin doesn't have either of those things. The yearly tracker or yearly view, yearly index in the Hobonichi is across 4 pages. So you have January to June spread out across those 2 pages, and you have July to December on those 2 pages. And quite a lot of space actually in terms of an index or a tracker. You've got 10 boxes in each of these columns, plus a space at the top and a space at the bottom. The yearly tracker in the Common Planner, you get the full year across 2 pages, so January to December across that. And again, this is the B6 Slim, so these columns are very narrow. If you were to have the A5 size, obviously they'd be wider, but they would still be across 2 pages like that, rather than across 4 pages that you get in the Cousin. In the Common Planner, we then have quarterly pages. So we get a left-hand side which says priorities, and then a space for each of the 3 months in that quarter. And then you get another tracker space for April, May, June. You get space for 7 to track 7 things there, or 7 boxes to write in. And you have that for all of the 4 quarters of the year before it jumps into the monthly pages. Whereas the Cousin has this yearly breakdown, and then it jumps straight in to the monthly pages. The monthly page layout is very, very similar. In fact, the only difference between it is that in the Cousin it's shaded, and this one in the Common Planner is completely plain. And had this one been an A5, the boxes would be pretty much the same size as the Cousin. So that is very, very similar. We then move into the weekly pages. The Hobonichi Cousin only comes in the vertical layout. The Sterling Ink Common Planner comes in a choice of horizontal layout, which is what this one is here, and vertical layout. So again, if this Common Planner was in the A5 size and it was the vertical layout, it would be very similar to what you see here. but the difference I would say is that Sterling Ink offer the option of horizontal or vertical to choose from. And then we move in to the daily pages of the Cousin, in which you have a full page for each day, but each day is dated at the top, whereas in the Common Planner you have enough pages to write a page a day. You have 367 pages, but none of them are dated. It's all completely blank, or at least just gridded. So you can choose to either write a page a day, use it as a notebook, just free journal without any restrictions. So again, it's not right or wrong, it just depends what your preference is. This Hobonichi gives you slightly more structure to journaling, or using this for planning or as a notebook or tracking things. It's dated, this is not dated, but other than that, the number of pages are the same. So I'll leave it up to you to decide what best fits what you're looking for. For me, I'm having a second year in the Common Planner because it's really worked for me for two reasons. Because I prefer the horizontal weeklies, it's just what I'm used to and it helps me to stay the most organised. And I've really enjoyed having my planner and journal in one, but not having the pressure to write every day that these aren't dated. But that said, I haven't really used the additional pages. I don't really feel the need for the goal breakdown pages. The quarterly pages I've used very intermittently over the year. There are a lot of things I like about the Cousin, not least that it's structure from beginning to end, going from yearly to monthly to weekly to daily, is so simple that within it there's endless ways you can be creative and make it work for you. So I think there's most definitely a place for them both, and it is just purely a matter of taste as to what works for you. But I hope that's helpful if you're stuck in making the decision between the Hobonichi or the Sterling Ink. They're both brilliant planners, and I hope you find the one that really works for you.